same thing. Karen says, just do it. There ain't nothing to it. Just do it.
Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going to be exploring the work of Karen Eastland.
Oh, yeah, Karen Eastland.
And she is really kind of blowing up right now in the art world. She's working at this really cool intersection of traditional art and AI. And it's pretty fascinating stuff.
It is, and she's really kind of taking this approach of not just the how you use the tech, but really digging into the why and the philosophy behind it.
Exactly. And what makes it even more interesting is that Karen is like just this creative powerhouse. She does it all. We're talking novels, short stories, even an episodic serial, music, mixed media art, you name it. She's probably done it.
It really does seem like there is nothing that she doesn't do. And it's interesting to note that her episodic serial, The Adventures of Millie and Sandra, that actually predates her heavier use of AI. She's really committed to seeing that project through, using her traditional writing process. And then she plans to use AI, once that's completely finished, to edit it for book publication.
That's a really cool approach. And it makes you think about the way that people talk about AI sometimes. And I'm curious, where did this all begin? Like, when did she start experimenting with technology?
Well, we actually have to rewind all the way back to 2008. We found this YouTube channel called Grandma Claus, where she was using early digital tools like Crazy Talk Pro for making lip sync animations. And you can really see that early innovative spirit, even before AI was really mainstream.
I love that, Grandma Claus. That's adorable and endearing. It's kind of funny, though, right? You go from Grandma Claus to her master's project in 2017, which is titled Gerrymanders.
Right.
And that seems like a pretty dark turn.
It's definitely got a much darker tone and really shows a different side of her artistic voice. And Gerrymanders is this really complex multimedia project that incorporates all kinds of things from, Creative Commons footage and found music and beat poetry. And there's even an interactive website and a community newspaper that all explore these themes of political manipulation and social satire.
That's a huge leap from Grandma Claus. It sounds like she's not afraid to take risks and tackle like complex social issues, which kind of makes you think about how those early experiences maybe shaped her current work with AI.
You can definitely see the threads of her artistic evolution, that early playfulness from Grandma Claus, that sharp social commentary from Gerrymanders. All those elements really do come together in her current work.
So let's talk about the music, because I know she's like seriously passionate about songwriting, and a lot of people are talking about how she's using AI in her music. So how is she actually using these tools?
So the interesting thing is that she writes all of her lyrics first. So pen and paper, old-fashioned.
Wow.
And then she'll turn to AI to kind of help her transform those lyrics into these fully fledged songs.
So what is it, just taking the lyrics and adding music, or is it doing something more than that?
It's more than that. What's really fascinating is how she's using AI to actually explore different genres with the same lyrics.
Wait, so she can take like a country song and turn it into like death metal with the help of AI?
It's not too far off. She's got songs like Into the Void, which has this dark, really ethereal feel to it. And then Feel the Fire, which is high energy, driving rock.
That's crazy.
And then Don't Start Your Life Without Me, a little bit more on the pop side.
Okay, so what are the tools? What is she using that's letting her do all this?
One of her favorites is ChatGPT.
Okay.
But she's given it the nickname Sol.
I like that, Soul.
So she uses Sol for, really fine-tuning those lyrics and experimenting with different musical styles.
So it's really like a collaborative process?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a songwriting partner almost.
Very much so.
But does she ever run into issues? Like, does it always understand her vision perfectly, or has there ever been a time when, she's kind of butted heads with the AI?
Well, there is one pretty funny story where she was working on this song and Sol kept kind of pushing it in this direction that she just wasn't happy with. And she had to kind of rein it in and say, okay, remember who's in charge here.
You got to lay down the law sometimes.
You do.
I love that. It's this reminder that at the end of the day, AI is a tool, and you have to know how to use it properly and not be afraid to kind of exert your own creative control.
Absolutely. And that's a really key theme that we see throughout all of Karen's work, just this balance between harnessing that power of technology, but also maintaining the core of human artistry. Yeah, it's like this really fascinating kind of push and pull between the artist and the AI. Like, you're not surrendering control, but you're kind of learning how to how to collaborate, push each other.
It really is, and it kind of reminds me of all those, sci-fi stories where AI becomes sentient and takes over the world. But
Right.
it seems like in this case, she's really just using it as an extension of her own creative impulses.
Exactly. And she's not just trying to replicate what she could already do on her own, but really use it to kind of explore these new sonic territory.
Yeah.
And experiment with different sounds and structures that she might not have been able to do otherwise.
And speaking of exploring new territories, we have to talk about her podcasting. Like, it's one thing to use it for music, right?
Right.
But to create a whole podcast with AI, that's pretty next level.
It is, and it's not just any podcast. She's actually using AI to help her generate scripts and even create these virtual hosts.
Whoa, hold on. AI podcast hosts.
Yeah.
That sounds both amazing and a little bit creepy. Tell me more.
Yeah, so she's using this tool called Notebook LM, and it's designed to really help with writing and storytelling. And she's trained it to create these characters who have these really distinct personalities, and they'll engage in conversation and debate ideas, even crack jokes.
So it's like a sitcom written and performed by AI.
Pretty much.
That's crazy. So does she give, like, names to these AI hosts? What are their personalities like?
I don't think she's giving them official names, but she has described them as being, like, really distinct. One of them is very analytical and data-driven, and then the other one is more whimsical and kind of prone to tangents. So it's like listening to this this banter between two very different minds.
That's so cool. And it makes me think about how much she seems to really love, like, the unexpected outcomes, the times when the AI kind of surprises her with something or challenges her assumptions.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about creating this, like, perfect polished product, but embracing the element of surprise.
Yeah, and that's what makes her work so engaging, right? You never really know what direction she's going to go in next or how the AI is going to influence that final product.
And we haven't even talked about the visual art yet. She's doing all this cool stuff with creating these incredible images and even AI video editing.
Right. She's using tools like Google Labs, ImageFX, and even the upcoming VideoFX.
Okay.
To create these really intricate and imaginative visuals. It's almost like she's found a way to kind of translate her musical sensibilities to the visual realm.
Yeah.
With these just like swirling landscapes of color and texture.
It's amazing how she's able to weave together all these different creative threads, right? The writing, the music, the visual art. And then there's this whole other layer to her work, which is the ethical considerations that she's always bringing up. Like, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran's not just interested in the technical side of AI. She's really engaged in those philosophical implications. She's constantly asking these questions about authorship and originality and the very definition of art in a world where AI can create works that are basically indistinguishable from human creations.
And that's such an important point to make, because it's not just can AI make art, but what does it mean for AI to make art?
Right.
And how does that actually change, like, how we understand human creativity?
Exactly. And she's not afraid to wrestle with those, those really tough questions. It's like she sees AI as this mirror reflecting back at us and forcing us to kind of confront our own assumptions about creativity and consciousness.
She's really using her art to spark this conversation, to get people thinking about the future that we're creating with these technologies. I mean, she's not just an artist. She's like, an instigator. She's a provocateur.
Yeah.
Challenging us to think about these things, these ethical and philosophical questions about AI.
She's doing it in a way that's, really accessible and engaging. She's not, preaching or anything like that. She's bringing us into her world, sharing her own discoveries and doubts and excitement.
Okay, before we get too philosophical here, I do want to circle back to her process for a second. So you mentioned earlier that she uses AI for editing as well.
I did, yeah. And not just for like surface level stuff like proofreading. She uses it for everything from line editing and copy editing to even developmental editing, where AI can actually help her identify structural issues in her stories, like plot holes and things like that.
So she's basically built an AI writing assistant.
Yeah, it's really efficient.
Does it ever feel like she's giving up too much control?
That's a great question, and it really goes back to that idea of balance that we were talking about earlier. She's very clear about where she draws the line. So AI is there to support her vision, not replace it.
It's interesting to contrast that with her approach to her episodic serial, The Adventures of Millie and Sandra. because she's specifically avoiding AI in that writing process, right?
That's right. She wants to keep that pure, her original vision for that particular story.
Yeah.
AI will only come in at the very end when she's doing the editing to prepare it for book publication.
So it's like that's her sacred space,
Yeah.
right? Where human creativity kind of reigns supreme.
Absolutely.
But then at the same time, she's willing to embrace the potential of AI in all these other areas of her work.
Exactly. It's a really nuanced approach, and it speaks to that deep respect that she has for both tradition and innovation.
Yeah.
So, she's not blindly embracing technology, but really thoughtfully integrating it into her creative process in a way that feels very authentic and intentional.
Yeah, it really is amazing to see how she's able to kind of walk that line, that tightrope between tradition and innovation.
It is, and it really makes you think about where all of this is headed. Like, what does the future hold for artists like Karen, who are really, kind of pushing the boundaries of creativity with AI?
Yeah, it feels like we're on the verge of something really, really big.
Yeah.
But it's also, I don't know, it's a little bit daunting, right?
Right.
If AI can create art that is technically, flawless, then what role does the human artist even have left?
That is the question that a lot of people are wrestling with right now. But I think that Karen's work is actually offering a really hopeful perspective. She's showing us that AI doesn't have to be this threat. It can be a collaborator, a tool that can actually enhance our abilities and let us explore these new creative avenues that we, couldn't have before.
It's like she's saying, don't be afraid of the technology. Let's use it.
Yeah.
Let's use it to amplify our voices and tell our stories in new and really exciting ways.
Exactly. And I think that's such an empowering message.
Yeah.
It's not about AI replacing artists, but artists using AI to become, even more expressive, more experimental, more innovative.
And I'm curious about like the impact that this is going to have on how we experience art, Will we start to see like completely new AI-generated art forms?
I think it's inevitable. I mean, as AI gets more sophisticated, it's going to open up these whole new realms of artistic expression. We might see, music that's composed entirely by algorithms or paintings that evolve in real time. Based on audience interaction, or even like virtual worlds that are created by AI entities.
It's mind-blowing to even think about, and honestly, a little bit scary.
Yeah.
It's like we're stepping into this unknown and we have no idea what we're going to find.
Well, I think that's kind of part of the thrill, isn't it? I mean, the unknown is where those discoveries happen, where innovation flourishes. And I have a feeling that artists like Karen are going to be, the ones leading the way, showing us what's possible when you combine human imagination with AI.
Well, I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm super grateful to Karen for giving us a glimpse of that future through her work.
Yeah.
This has been a really inspiring deep dive.
Yeah, I agree. Karen's journey is the testament to, the power of human creativity, even in this age of, crazy technology. And she's a really good reminder that art isn't about the tools or the techniques. It's about the human spirit and that desire to express ourselves and connect with others and really make sense of the world around us.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left with this sense of wonder and just like possibility. I mean, what is art going to look like in 10 years?
Right.
In 20 years, will we even recognize
It's
it?
the beauty of it all. We don't know, but I think that's a good thing because it means that we're still exploring and we're pushing those boundaries and discovering new ways to create art and experience it.
Well, thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring and keep creating and keep those minds wide open.
Absolutely.